Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we have Enel versus BY Luffy. This is going to be the BY Luffy Kuzan variant. I'm actually not sure how the matchup is for Enel going into BY. I heard it was 50-50, but I'm just not sure how BY Luffy can compete with Enel's top end. Just because he does get a bunch of large creatures on board and is able to heal so much. And Luffy isn't really known to burst someone down. So, BY Luffy's first turn, just playing down the Garp, and then Enel passing on his 2-Dawn turn. But the Luffy actually deciding to put the Enel down to 2 already. Probably not in any danger here, but he actually opts to swing a 9 into the Garp, not wanting to give the BY Luffy any resources just yet, just because going up against BY with any deck, you actually want to starve him as much as you can. So he drops down the Makino here in order to rip a life and rearrange the rest, and then swinging in 9 into the Enel here. I'm actually not sure if I agree with this swing just yet, just because Enel loves being at 1 life, especially if he has like stuff like Yamato or Ace in hand, being able to pop something and heal, or gaining rush and healing. It's just so powerful in the later stages of the game. But that 9 swing actually turns into a Shirahoshi, allowing the Enel to draw just so many cards, and then dropping the 5 cost Godatsu, popping the Makino. I think Enel just really wanted to get a body on board so that he has some sort of pressure. But honestly, looking at the board state right now, BY Luffy really needs a way to get his engine going, just because I think Enel is just fine leaving him at however many life and forcing him to rip life in order to get his combos going. So just like that, he drops a Katakuri on turn 8, resetting the BY Luffy's life back to 4. Let's see if he can actually deal with this here. Does look like Enel's side has a lot of top end to work with in the later stages of the game, so his top end, or his next few turns, are going to be very strong here. So BY Luffy dropping another 5-drop Luffy. I think this time he definitely should be ripping life, just so he can get his combos off. I think if he ripped it last turn, he'd be at 2 life. But obviously it is really scary to go low now that Enel is developing so many large bodies. And looks like this is just only going to be more where that came from in these next couple of turns. So with 3 Dawn remaining, I can't imagine. Yeah, nice. So he uses 3 Dawn to rip a life and then put a card into or onto the top of his life, deciding not to swing because that would just be a free draw for the Enel side, but passing it back to the Enel. He's at 10 life right now, so he could either drop the ace, or he could Katakuri the Luffy to the bottom of Luffy's life again, which he ends up doing. I think this play is really nice because it forces the Luffy player to use the babies in his hand, and any other rip effects in order to get those Luffys active. So Enel just playing it really slow, really smart in order to force the BY Luffy to use up his resources. So he drops the Garp here, grabbing another baby Luffy to hand. So at least at this point, the BY Luffy can activate those Luffys in his life. Tapping 5 Dawn here, and he drops a Sabo down, looking to cycle through his hand a little bit. I think he's just going to pitch a couple of adults in his hand. And he does, pitching the 5-drop Luffy. And the baby Sabo. The baby Sabo I'm a little surprised about, just because being able to use him from hand and then recurring from Gecko or by Gecko is really strong. But he is able to get out a Space Luffy here. I think he's going to use the Space Luffy to pop the Shirahoshi here, and he does. It actually does heal the Enel if that Shirahoshi is KO'd by effects. But as I was speaking to it earlier, Enel actually doesn't like being at 2 life, just because it makes the Ace and Yamato drops far less efficient. So I think at this point the Luffy's only pumped to 7, and so Enel can really pressure his life here with a bunch of 9 swings. So if he splits his Dawn, he can actually get in 4 9k swings, or 3 9k swings, and a 10k swing with the rest of his Dawn. And I think that's what, yeah, that's definitely what he's going to be pushing for here. Just because with only 3 or 5 cards left in the BY Luffy's hand, I can't imagine he wants to pitch before pumping his leader up to 9. So it's a really good play here from the Enel, being able to basically just tear apart the BY Luffy's board. At this point, yes, he's able to full Gecko or full combo with Gecko, because I do see the Gecko in the BY Luffy's hand, but I'm just not sure if that's going to be enough, because the Enel has such a grip right now. Definitely has more than enough counter to protect his units on board. So here, yeah, Luffy's just gonna full combo, drawing 2 with the Sabo, and then pitching 2, and then using the second baby to bring out the other Sabo, and drawing 2 and pitching 2. So I do see the Ace in the Enel's hand, but doesn't look like he has any Yamatos. So I think here he actually swung 11 into a Katakuri, which I think is a mistake on the BY Luffy player's side, just because the amount of swings is really important in this matchup. So I think he definitely should have pressured the Gadatsu there, just because having to counter 6k is a huge commitment that the Enel would have to commit. And with the Gadatsu alive, he's just going to do the same exact play, swinging in 3 9s and a 10. And at this point, yeah, I think the BY Luffy, his only play here is to just combo off again, but that means that he really has no more resources in his hand to play with. So I think that card is probably the last card is a 2k counter, would be my guess. Just because at this stage of the game, you're gonna be wanting to push for lethal next turn, if not if you don't die this turn. So here, yeah, BY Luffy actually gets rid of the Gadatsu this time around, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough, just because with BY Luffy pumped up to 9 and only 1 card in hand, I think the Enel should be able to close out. So he drops 2 9k swings here, and then drops another swing to force the blocker from the BY Luffy. And now at this point, BY Luffy is just forced to try to go for game, or it's game over. So at this point in the game, yeah, he really just has to assign Dawn efficiently in order to have a best shot at closing out. And looking at the Enel's hand, it looks like he only has 2k counter right now. So if he assigns it correctly, he actually has a shot of winning. I think with 2k counter, the Enel actually just needs another 2k counter in order to survive these swings coming in. And he does find it. So right now he's only at 5k counter, but the 10k Moria swing actually gives him the last counter he needed, and is able to counter out of the Moria swing. So yeah, Enel taking that next turn, he's just able to crack back 15. But yeah, that was a very close match. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.